go to
Can about the
real.
communication? Well, I want to talk about communication.
That's why I asked you the second one.
Yeah, can you reconsider? Move to reconsider. I'm holding in affirmative.
There's a motion to reconsider. You're talking about reconsidering Bill 307?
Yes, please.
Okay, motion to reconsider. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Onishi. Discussion on motion to reconsider.
Yes, I have an amendment, and I'd like to add my name to the bill. Can resume, Senator?
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion to reconsider? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, on the motion to reconsider.
Mr. Bloss?
Aye.
Ms. Ford? No. Mr. Hoffman?
No.
Mr. Ikeda?
Aye.
Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? No. Mr. Yoshimoto? Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Chair Yagong, you have 6 ayes.
Okay, motion to reconsider passes. Mr. Ikeda, you have the floor.
Yes, I'd like to amend Bill 307 with the contents of Communication 804.1.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Onishi. Before we begin, first of all, let me just say that I didn't move to the vote. I thought you guys didn't want to make the motion. That's why I looked twice. I went twice like this. No, okay, go for the vote. So please,
No, I
just so you know, it wasn't done.
understand your motion.
Okay, it wasn't done intentionally. Okay, Mr. Ikeda, you have the floor.
Yes, when Ms. Ford came out with the South Kona police station, I had my staff call up the police department to see which is most pressing. Apparently, the South Kona police station is not on the radar because they said they don't even have vans to. They don't have vans to.
Mr. Ikeda, we're on your.
Yes, no, I just want to explain why. And so I asked police department what is your most pressing issues. And the first one is they said public safety complex repainting because they said it has moles, mildews, cracks, leaks, and security problems. And that was for 125,000. And they said they need the police record section receiving counter renovation for the same reason also. They said they need also the for 55,000. They said they need the Naalehu police station repaired because it's rusted and falling apart all due to sea salt. They said it's the highest priority, 75,000. Parking amenities, facility amenities, and related improvement for downtown Hilo. This is recommended by Ron Keel. He wants to fix the parking for downtown Hilo and add more parkings. And that is for 150,000. Upper Waianuenue Avenue road safety improvements for 400,000. This is the 400,000 I was talking about yesterday when we were discussing the other issue. They said they were giving me a guesstimate for the 600,000. This 400,000 is going to fund the planning and design, and they're ready to go. Downtown Hilo. Accessibility and mobility improvements. This is it's a study for public works, and also Department of Public Works has also repairs and improvements of $3 million, and part of it is Kanakaole Stadium, which needs to upgrade. Kenoi Gym roofing for 750,000. Hilo Armor roof replacement 750. University Heights roof replacement 200,000. Maholi Park roof replacement 200,000. Ainako roof replacement 150,000, and Aholan include park roof replacement 150,000. They say the roof replacement is very important because if we don't replace the roof, the expense is going to be greater, 4 times more, especially in the gyms where you got to fix the floors and everything. And so this is something they like, and like Ms. Ford said, this is almost like a wish list. We've just given the mayor mottos in his toolbox that when he sees fit, he can float the bond. Because just because we pass this doesn't mean that he's going to float the bond. It is something that the departments really want, and they want to have it earmarked for themselves. Thank you.
Okay, discussion on the contents contained in Communication 844.1. Mr. Pilago?
I'll be very brief and just to remind ourselves of the point of order. If and it's not on order, if 844.2 comes up, it needs to come up soon, a main motion and his that is amended. But if the clerk wishes to comment on that or Corporation Counsel, I believe that's how parliamentary procedure works. And it's something we should consider in light that we have a primary amendment and likely a secondary amendment that amends the main motion.
I believe there are options. Mr. Ikeda may move to amend. Should he wish to do so, you may take the vote. Then Mr. Onishi may move to amend with his, if that is his intention. You may also make a secondary motion if you would like to. There just should not be a third. However, you have options.
So what's on the floor right now is communication 844.1. Any discussion on that? On communication 844.1. Support?
Well, as usual, I'm quite disappointed that our police chief is not supporting South Kona. It's been going on for years, and it hasn't been just this chief. But in regard to communication 4.1, we are in some financial difficulties, and it seems to me that public safety of South Kona should be a very top priority, and that we need to get this police station built. After all, Mayor Kim and I did get the land, and we've got the design. The police got the design, I should say. I didn't do that. The station's designed to their standards, and now that we've got it ready to go, they don't want to build it. But they are willing to spend money on repairing facilities in other districts, but still not giving South Kona what we need. Now, I have some serious doubts whether we need to spend money to do these repairs when we have a district that doesn't even have the basic services, don't even have jail cells that operate as cells to put people in. There's something wrong about this. And so I'm really hesitant to vote for something like this amendment, when we've got, the financial situation we have, and yet we don't have support. Maybe not from the council, I don't know, but certainly not from our police department. So I think it's time that Kona gets their needs met rather than just the wants in other districts. Thank you.
Mr. Counsel, Mr. Onishi hasn't spoken yet. Oh, Ms. Hoffman, do you want to speak?
If you'll let me do it now, it doesn't matter when.
Go right ahead, sir, and then I'll go to Ms. Onishi.
Yes,
And
thank you.
I would like to say a few words as well. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My comments are directed only to the amendment because I think Ms. Ford's comments were more directed towards the South Kona Police Station. But looking at the amendment that Mr. Ikeda has presented, I would question the prioritization of some of the issues that have been brought forward in this case and the timing for those to be amended to this particular bond issue. There wouldn't be anything wrong, for instance, of separating these two issues, and we could vote on them as a separate item. I understand Mr. Ikeda's argument that you give the mayor more weapons in his toolbox, so to speak. The thing that we have, however, as council members is to make certain, obviously, that we're responsible for the expenditure or the additional expenditures that we wish to add as far as the county is concerned. To try to add this as part of a South Kona Police Station, which I think certainly deserves the right to be independent of other considerations and issues, I think is really the concern that I would have. Not that any of the items that Mr. Ikeda has put on this particular amendment are bad items. I think all of them probably need to be done. It's only a matter of prioritization. On the other hand, I could easily come in with a District 9 list as well, and I'm sure we could go on infinitum. Clearly, we would not have a reasonable bill to place forward, and we wouldn't be doing our job as effective or responsible council members. I would urge, and I would support what Mr. Ikeda is trying to do, and Mr. Onishi trying to do in this case, if we decided to have these as separate items and separate bills. I think that's a cleaner argument. I think it supports what Mr. Ikeda just got finished saying by allowing the mayor the option then to have these things placed before him and let him do the proper work of choosing among the various districts in order to see this accomplished. So Mr. Ikeda and Mr. Onishi, I would ask that you withdraw the amendments and we consider them separately at the next council meeting. I'd be happy to vote in support of it. Thank you.
Mr. Ikeda, you have the floor.
Yes, you know,
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Ikeda, my fault. It's Mr. Onishi.
Thank you,
And then I'll go to
Chair.
you, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Hoffman, thank you for your suggestion, but I won't be taking that. Councilman, we just gotta remember, all we're doing is authorizing the administration to float this bond. I mean, that's not like etched in stone that they're gonna be floating this, whatever, 29 would come out to like $26 million. It's just an authorization, so it's up to the administration or up to the mayor, whichever, the mayor now or the upcoming mayor comes in December 1st, it's up to them that, what projects they wanna, fund. Okay, so this is just getting it on the list so that this CIP projects that, it's on the CIP list already, so now we're just trying to get the funding. And so that's it. And so I'm gonna support Mr. Ikeda's amendment. Thank you.
Mr. Ikeda, then I'll say a few words.
Okay, I got some memos and he says the police chief, he didn't say he's not supportive of the new station. He just said it's not shovel ready. He said they do have a preliminary design, but I think Ms. Ford, you changed the proposal. This is the memo I'm getting, and this is the reason your thing wasn't on the top priority. And so what we're saying is our project is all shovel ready to go. And like I said, we just ask the departments what they really need. And like I said, our staff did ask the department heads, and then like I said, I just got some memos that the police got no problem with the South Kona police station. It's just that I think Ms. Ford has to choose whether she was going to propose
Your mic be.
or she's going to.
Your microphone be.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
No, so it's, I think they said they already have a preliminary design, but if you're proposing a new one, it's not going to be shovel ready. And so, and that's their concern, but like all the projects we're introducing, it's all shovel ready to go. And like I said, most of them is, like Ms. Court, some of them is in your district, it's going to be the Naalehu police station. I think 2 is in my area.
Ms. Ford, Mr. Ikeda has the floor.
Yeah, so, like, maybe it's pretty, anyway, it's gonna be your, district in a couple of months, so. So, like I said, these are all shovel ready to go, and I do ask your support because it's up to the, it's up to the mayor what he wants to float or what he wants to initiate or what he wants not. We have no control, we just give him all the tools that we can, and we hope that, he do the projects. Thank you.
Ms. Ford.
Thank you. I don't know.
You know, we're on the amendment, yeah?
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait till we get off the amendment.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, and I did notice that the Naalehu police station was on there, and thank you, Mr. Ikeda, that is my district. However, I agree with Mr. Hoffman's comments that it would be a much cleaner process to have those be separate issues. I don't see why it's necessary to lump them all into this one when it was specifically for the Kona police station. I'm disappointed to see the way that it's coming forward in terms of these two communications at this point in time. And I would ask that the introducers, I would repeat Mr. Hoffman's request, that they consider a withdrawal and then put them forward on their own merits to be considered by this council.
Thank you. Can I say something? Turn off your light, please. Ms. Ford. Okay.
Dominic, I just have one further comment, just to wrap up a part of the conversation.
Beauty before age. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, not bad. It must be getting late, Mr. Chair. May I point to one comment that Mr. Onishi said, though, before we wrap up this particular issue? If he's pointing that these are all part of some general improvement projects, capital improvement project items, please be reminded that no repairs or maintenance can be taken from capital project funds. Those are specifically restricted in the budget process. So we can include repairs as being part of capital improvements, and we can't do maintenance as part of capital improvements. You can do new facilities, and you can expand existing facilities, but you can't do repairs and maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you. You kind of stole my thunder a little bit, Mr. Hoffman, but you always do that, so I'm used to it. Let me just say this, council members. Here's the thing, okay? I don't agree with Ms. Smart and Mr. Hoffman, and yet I do agree with them. I do believe that this should not be attached to Ms. Ford's bill. What I do believe is this, that the administration already have the wherewithal to be able to do these projects if they deem necessary without issuing any further bonds. We've got the $56 million bond that the council approved, and we have projects on that list. Remember, we made it project specific that we had obtained other funding for, so that we are not going to be utilizing the bond authorization for those projects. So a lot of these stuff, first of all, can't be on the list because you can't do CIP or bond money during repairs and so forth. So this list won't work for a bond authorization. That has to come back again. That's number one. But number two, instead, what I would ask you guys to do is use your very, very good lobbying skills and go work with the mayor and go redirect some of those monies. And you'll be able to do this where you don't have to wait for this whole bond authorization process to go. All you gotta do is redirect the money that's there. And that's without going out and authorizing any more bonds. If we are gonna authorize anything outside of the $16 million bond, obviously some of you are gonna be coming back working with the new council. I wanna also give them opportunities to prioritize and be able to issue bonds, you know, as a council member, as they deal with the very difficult budgetary session they're going to come up with, instead of us taking up all of this here. So I would say focus your efforts that you can get it done with your lobbying skills, work with the mayor, and I think these things can be done with existing bonds without adding any further debt service to the county and the people of the county of Hawaii. So with both of these, I would say we really should, it can't even pass the way it's designed or submitted. Let's just vote it down and go work and redirect bonds. And the redirection still got to come to the council, and I will tell you, if you redirect the bonds, I pledge I will vote for it then. That will be not issuing any further debt service. Okay, I said my piece. Anyone else want to speak? Okay, no further. On the amendment 844.1.
Mr. Gloss?
All right.
Ms. Ford? No. Mr. Hoffman?
No.
Mr. Ikeda?
Aye.
Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? No. Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
No.
Chair Yagong, you have 5 ayes.
Okay, communication 844.1 passes. I assume Mr. Onishi about amendment. Go ahead.
Chair, can I amend Bill 307 with the amendment of 8441.1 with communication 844.2?
Okay, so we're amending with the contents contained in communication 844.2. Very good. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ikeda. Discussion, Mr. Onishi.
So my first project would be the repair of the Hilo fall, and as one council member mentioned about, like, you know, they support I guess wastewater and solid waste and so forth. And this is one problem where, and this is one thing good where, because they're repairing the Kanakaole sewer lines right now. This is gonna be the part where this discharge pipe, which is like 0.8 miles offshore outside of the Hilo breakwater. What happens is that the treated wastewater, which is not raw sewage, comes from the Hilo wastewater treatment plant. So that's on the back by the airport. Okay, and so what they found out is the pipe is getting deteriorated because of the ocean, the currents action, and so forth. So they went back in April in 2012 to go reinspect, and then they found out that the pipes are deteriorating. So the scope of work would be to replace the length of the pipe, which is a 38-foot section, and it's like 48 inches in diameter. The current status is they have the designs and the design plans, but they're waiting for the consultant to process the obtaining permits that will be required. The design cost that they spent so far was $265,000. If we do approve this and state administration does float that $1 million, the bid could go out maybe at the end of 2012. So this is one that could be where we have quick action, okay? And hopefully they would receive, so the bid went out at the end of 2012, we would receive the bid in February of 2013. The notice of the award would be maybe in March of 2013. If everything works out okay, then they could start the construction April or May of 2013. So this project is ready to go. All they need is the funding, okay? And this is going to help that treatment, the Hilo wastewater treatment plant. The next project would be Kilauea Avenue improvements, which would be $4,016,000. And if you folks do drive in Hilo, this is from Ponahawaii Street up to little past Hawaii Street. Okay, and you folks notice when you guys travel on that road how bad it is. So they did Public Works do their studies already to see how the ground is, and they found out that I guess underneath the ground the soil is not as packed or something. You know, it's not really compact. So they need to kind of get down there and get that old stuff out and repack them, and then that way it'll give a longer lifespan for Kilauea. My next other project is Kamehameha Highway reconstruction. That is from Waianuenue Bridge to Ponahawaii, and that is $3,240,000. That is additional. They already have some funding, but to get the project going, they need this balance. And this is to help realign the intersection of Kam and Hawaii, that intersection right down here. And that's to help I guess the traffic flow at that intersection. My last one is golf course, and this could be an optional. And because what I was talking to Parks and Rec about is that we could maybe do a partnership, a private-public partnership, where we have the concessionaires or the person who is running the golf shop, that if he's willing to invest and put in the money to build these golf sheds, because that's what's going to protect the golf carts. The county could negotiate his contract, give him like a longer term lease, something like what we just was hearing about the PLDC, and then he'll have more time to pay to get his money back from building the golf shed. But that's just an option. So this for the the golf shed would maybe be an option, depending on if we can work on something with the owner of the golf shop. So I just asked for the support, and like I mentioned to someone who emailed me from Kona, was that I told him that this is just to authorize getting the bond, and it's up to the administration either to fund it or not. Thank you.
Mr. Pilago?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Onishi, for this introduction. I would agree to support the first three items. I do not agree with the fourth item, the golf cart shed, and ask that you redact that. I'd be willing to support it at this time, but I ask that it be redacted, an amendment between now and second reading that strikes this number 4 item. If I can have your reassurance, I'll give you my support.
Mr. Chair, can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Pilago, I'll do that.
They could also ask for a division, divide that up, and to not vote for that particular amendment. Move for a division of everything, move off to divide the question.
I'll just do an amendment.
Well, someone would have to make a motion, so no one's making a motion. Mr. Pilago, see you right on.
Okay, I'll move to divide, communication 844.2 and to, separate the Hilo Municipal Golf Course - new card shed.
Okay, there's a second by Mr. Blas. So the motion is to divide, so that's the motion on the floor. Any discussion on the motion to divide? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, on the motion to divide.
Just need a minute, I want to just make sure that that's a distinct paragraph.
Let's take a minute recess.
No, just a second.
Charge up again, I know. Ugh. My third charge today.
I got them young guys. I got contacts.
This is nutty.
You gonna sneak her back in?
Still letting the frogs in. Don't let any frogs in. I'm originally from Oahu. Well, that's the thing is that before the legislature, we're not going to allocate money just for frogs.
I
And
feel
then
bad for your feet.
now when they got it, they're like, yeah, we need to get rid of these frogs.
Good luck.
You can imagine what all. Well, yeah, I mean, can I just go? I mean, I know chickens don't really help. I used to have tons of chickens.
I think you're helping mice.
No, eat the strawberry guava first. Which they got tons of. And then make shrink chicken.
Thank you for this. Hawaii County Council is now reconvened. So, council members, on the floor right now is a motion to divide, and what we're basically doing is taking the Hilo Municipal Golf Course new court shed, $1 million as a separate part of the amendment, and then the rest being in another part of the amendment. So, but we have to vote on the motion to divide at this time. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas? Ms. Ford? Mr. Hoffman?
Aye?
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi? Mr. Pilago? Ms. Mark? Mr. Yoshimoto? Chair Yagong? Chair Yagong, you have 9 ayes.
The motion to divide passes. So, Chair is going to take the motion to approve the Hilo Municipal Golf Course new court shed for $1 million. So you can either vote to approve it or vote against it. Is there any discussion on that particular motion to approve?
I move to approve Hilo Municipal Golf Course new card shed.
There's already a motion on the floor, so as a whole, the motion to approve the communication for what, separate dividing that. So right now on the floor is a motion to approve the $1 million for the golf course cart shed. So if you vote yes, it'll be approved. If you vote no, it'll be taken out. Okay, any discussion?
I just encourage my colleagues to vote no on it.
Okay, any further discussion? Oh, go ahead, Ms. Ward.
I appreciate that Mr. Onishi is willing to take off a golf cart shed for $1 million. You know, the last motion we passed on Mr. Ikeda's amendment added $5.1 million. This one adds 9.5844.2. That's $9.5 million do appreciate you took out the golf cart shed, because I don't think that even comes close to meeting the needs of a police station for South Kona. So thank you for that.
Okay, Madam Clerk. The motion on the floor is to approve that $1 million for the golf cart. There's no further discussion. Please take the vote.
Mr. Blas?
No.
Ms. Ford?
No.
Mr. Hoffman?
No,
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi? Mr. Pilago?
No.
Ms. Smart? No. Mr. Yoshimoto? Chair Yagong?
No.
Mr. Yagong? You have 0 ayes.
Okay, so that portion of the amendment passes. Now the motion on the floor is to approve the rest of the contents of 844.2. Any discussion on that?
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, go ahead, sir.
just again to repeat the same thing, if we're talking about capital improvement projects, we cannot have a repair of any existing facility. That is specifically enjoined. So I can vote for Mr. Onishi's amendment as long as there's a repair item in that particular amendment. I have no problem that we need to do these things. It's just that we can't be done under a capital improvements project agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Garson leave the building. Is Kathy out there? Corporation Counsel? Okay, can I get someone from Corporation Counsel, please?
What about Ivan?
Oh.
He's
Yes. Mr. Torgoy, if you come forward.
you're the attorney for EMA, right?
For the record, please identify yourself into the microphone, sir. Microphone.
I'm sorry, like the big corporation counsel.
Okay, I know you weren't here for the discussion, but we are approving a bond authorization. And it is our understanding that any repair, the bond authorization can only be for CIP projects. It cannot be for repair and maintenance. For example, when we try to redirect $10 million for the Parks and Recreation to do repairs, finance department came forward and said you cannot utilize bond authorization money to do repairs, and so that basically killed that effort. So I'm suggesting that if we are to approve the bills as amended here with the repairs on it, then we have a defective bill. And if we have a defective bill, then it might just kill the whole bond authorization. So I guess that's my question. I'm thinking it could kill the whole bill because it's all tied together as one bond authorization. If we have items on there that cannot be utilized, by using bond money, instead of we should be using general funds or operational money. My question is, does this make this bond authorization effective? Get it out right.
Yeah, honestly, I'd like to consult with Ms. Garson or some other person who has more experience in that area. As I sit here, I'm not prepared to give you a definitive answer on that.
Councilman, I know we're in a rush. I know that we got a long day here, but I think we should get that question answered before we move on. Yeah? Is that okay with you guys? I think it's an important question to answer before we approve oh, wait a minute, here they are. Ms. Garson, as you're walking forward, we are in a position to actually vote and pass the final amendment made by Mr. Onishi, but it has been brought forth by Mr. Hoffman that you cannot use bond money, you cannot authorize bonds for repairs. For example, when we try to redirect bond money to do repairs for the Parks and Recreation, we were told that you can't do that. Bond money for CIP projects, but not for repair maintenance. That has to be done through general fund. So my question is, if that is indeed correct, and if we pass this, does that then make this a defective bill, which throws the whole darn thing out?
Well, the answer to that question off the top of my head, would you like to take a 5-minute break?
No, Mr. Chair.
No, wait, one second. I tell you what we'll do. We can move to table. Mr. Hoffman, did you want to add anything while we wait for Corp Counsel?
Yeah, I would. I'm trying to find a couple of things, but I have a letter dated February 27, 2009 to Mr. Yoshimoto as chair of the council from Mayor Kenoi, pointing out what a capital improvement project is. A project is eligible for funding from the capital budget if it is a major non-recurring expenditure such as land acquisition, infrastructure improvement, new buildings or structures, or in addition to the building, non-recurring rehabilitation, planning, feasibility, engineering or design studies, information and communications technology, provided the cost is $25,000 or more. Again, I know that in several of the conversations we've had previously, up to this point anyway, the basic comment has always been you can't use CIP money in order to do repairs or maintenance. So I know that there's more. This is a letter, though, that goes back a couple of years, but certainly that hasn't been, changed, at least to my knowledge. And that comes from the mayor himself.
Let's see. Is Ms. Garson trying to contact someone from finance? I'm assuming that that's what someone's trying to do. Well, with that, yeah. Let's make sure that we do this. We do this right.
Move the table.
Yeah, there's a motion by Ms. Smart to table, seconded by Ms. Yoshimoto. Any discussion to the motion to table at this time?
Yes, just real quick.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Simply to allow time for Corporation Counsel to review this issue and to for us to continue on through the agenda, considering it is almost 8 o'clock in the evening and we have already touched our agenda. I'm hoping that the tabling will move forward so we can just keep moving up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think this is a good opportunity because it's a legislative formatting issue that the legal specialist comes in and will in respect to this item. Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor to table. I think the idea of tabling, I think, is important too, because quite frankly, we have to format this so it changes, because not only does it change, by taking out 1 million, but it also changes the bond issuance costs. So all of that needs to be done, and I think we've got our LRB staff smiling because we know we're going to hand it over to them. Okay, so the motion on the floor is a table. Any further discussion? Ms. Kawaguchi?
Mr. Bloss? Ms. Ford? Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi? Mr. Pilago?
No.
Ms. Smart? Ms. Yoshimoto? Chair Yagong? Chair 8 ayes.
Thank you. Motion to table passes. So wait to hear from Corporation Counsel. Okay, with that said, Councilman, let's see if we can kind of whip through some of these here. Let's do 305 for Mr. Yoshimoto, who's waiting patiently. What page is that, Mr. Yoshimoto? Page 8. Okay, very good. Let's go to page 8, Bill 305.
Bill 305 amends Chapter 9, Article 5, Division 1, Section 9-33 of the Hawaii County Code 1983, 2005 edition as amended relating to plans and specifications requirements. The proposed amendments amend Section 933 relating to plans and specifications requirements, deviation subsection B by deleting the existing language and adds new language relating to requirements for the installation of photovoltaic systems. This bill is introduced by Mr. Yoshimoto and approved by the PWPRC committee.
Mr. Yoshimoto, move to approve Bill 305. Second by Ms. Smart. Any discussion?
Real briefly,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, in the interim period since the committee level meeting, I've attempted to contact DPW as far as just any other concerns, but I haven't heard back from them. I don't see them here today, so I'm ready to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion on 305-12? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss? Ms. Ford? Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi? Mr. Pilago? Ms. Smart? Mr. Yoshimoto? Chair Yagong? Chair Yagong has 9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 305 passes. First reading. Madam Clerk, let's go back to page 2. Let's go to the top of the page, please. Resolution 279-12, draft 3.
Resolution 2009-12, draft 3 amends the rules of procedure and organization of the Council of the County of Hawaii by amending Rule number 13, public statements and testimony relating to video testimony. Amends Rule number 13, public statements and testimony by adding provisions regarding the submission of pre-recorded video testimonies for presentation to the Council or Committee. This resolution was introduced by Mr. Hoffman and approved by the GRC Committee.
Mr. Hoffman?
Move to approve resolution 279-12, draft 3.
Second by Mr. Blas. Any discussion?
Just briefly, Mr. Chairman, I think as we indicated in committee, we've gone ahead with a number of different back and forth with staff and so forth with Mr. Al. I ask that we approve this and then move ahead and define the terms in which we can implement this worthwhile measure. Clearly, it's another effort simply to make sure that we draw in the public and that they participate to the fullest degree that it's possible in our deliberations. Thank you.
Mr. Yoshimoto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, we've talked about this issue several times. I think we've made some changes, so I just want to kind of get it clear. May I address some questions to Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Hoffman, so you're telling us that you've had an opportunity to talk to the staff and you've addressed the concerns regarding how the video testimony would be handled in terms of record keeping, archiving, sunshine law requests, things like that?
We have gone back and forth, and I'm trying to find here in my iPad, and I will be there in just a minute, a recap of where we are with the conversations we've had with Mr. Al and so forth. Okay, there are still concerns on several issues, but I'm positive that if a group of our people got together, they could iron those out. And again, the idea was, instead of taking the time of the council in discussing the particulars and details, that we agree that video testimony is worthwhile, and we allow the time and effort needed by our staff to put it together in proper form.
Okay, this is just a suggestion. I mean, I support the idea, but what my concern is that we haven't dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And I know I recall you saying, that you just wanted to try this out. So, my preference would be is that we treat this like a pilot project, meaning we try it for X number of meetings and then we evaluate it, rather than making it a permanent part of our rules, which I know we can amend at any time. And the reason is, again, because we haven't dotted our I's and crossed our T's. I'd be perfectly willing to try it. I think it's a great idea. I just think that, in other words, my suggestion is that maybe we try it, until the end of the term, then we get a report from someone, council staff or chair staff, and then evaluate it from there. But not make it, in other words, maybe make a sunset date as to when the video testimony would end, similar to a pilot program.
May I respond, Mr. Chairman?
Go right in, Mr. Hoffman.
Absolutely, Mr. Yoshimoto. I agree with you 100%. In fact, if you remember our first meeting when we had this in committee, that was exactly the idea that I had in mind, that we were going to at least try it as a pilot program, I think I said, for a short period of time, and let the new council determine whether this should be part of the regular process. And I'm perfectly willing to see that happen. I do think it's worthwhile, but I agree that there may be holes in this that we need to look at, and we won't be able to properly understand how effective it will be, or ineffective, until we try it out for a little time. There's no reason that I wouldn't go along exactly with what you said.
So are you stating that it should be postponed then, so a proper amendments can be made to the resolution?
No, Mr. Chairman, I was asking that the resolution proceed and that we do use it as a pilot program and revisit it by the council at a date in the very near future.
Okay.
As I say, I was thinking that it would be, we would have about a 2-month period of time, or even a month and a half period of time to try it, and then let the new council determine whether they want to continue with it. I see nothing wrong with that.
Okay, Mr. Yoshimoto.
Okay, just the concern is that I think the cleaner way to approach it is, let's try it for X number of meetings up until this date. Then we get a report from the council staff, whoever that might be, and then we evaluate whether we need to go forward. In other words, it's kind of like enacting a law and then saying, okay, later on we're going to repeal it, rather than just saying, we're going to try this program, like the clean elections law. We're going to go to 2014. I mean, that was the window. And then you know it's going to end there unless you extend it. So that, Pete, I mean, that's my suggestion. That way it's cleaner to me, and that way we don't have to repeal something, and people are going to say, well, why didn't we do that? Then we have to go through this whole discussion of who wins and why, rather than just trying it out, getting a report from staff, and then the new council can decide, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't, and this is how we move forward. That's just, you know, I took it from other council members. Thank you.
Anyone who would like to chime in at a time before I go back to Ms. Hoffman? Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Yes. I need to comment on something one of the testifiers said. He kind of chastised Mr. Hoffman and I because we said at the previous meeting that the video testimony will be treated like written testimony. It will be submitted and come to council members on our internet, and but we will not be viewing these video testimonies during the public meetings that we have in front of the committees or the council. I want to make sure, because Pete and I have both said that, to make it really clear. This will be treated like written testimony, not as if the person is actually sitting here and adding to it. But this gentleman commented on that and said he thought that was wrong. That is your intent, is it not, Mr. Hoffman?
May I respond, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, it is absolutely the case. We discussed this in committee. I think sometimes what the people would like to see, unlike them coming to the meetings where they will appear in person and be on TV, they're afraid that if they submit video testimony, they may not be seen. Well, that's too bad. The problem is, I'm not so interested in whether the person appears on public access television. I'm more concerned that we have an available time and the ability to listen to what they have to say, and take their comments and analysis into consideration. That, I think, is the key point. We don't show written testimony on TV. I am not at all concerned with the gentleman's comments in that regard today.
Ms. Ford? You done?
As long as all of us council members understand that this pre-recorded video testimony will be sent in to us, it will not be played during the committee or council meetings. And I want the public to understand that. As long as that's clear, and I think all of us are clear, I'm ready to yield.
Okay, any further discussion? So yeah, go ahead, Mr. Yoshimoto.
Okay, so just to finish the thought then, so there's not going to be any amendments. I don't hear any amendments, because we could make a simple amendment that just says, this amendment is good for until the last meeting in November or something, and make that a report. Pete, if that's not what you want to do, then that's fine. I mean, you'll probably still get the support. I'm just trying to make it a little bit cleaner, but it's your call.
Thank you, Mr. Yoshimoto. No, I don't have a problem with that type of amendment. I just don't want to hold us over to another session. I absolutely agree, though, since it's only our rule, the council can make that determination without any further sunset dates. But I'm not opposed. If you wish to make that amendment at this time, we can suspend the rules and move this forward.
Well, let me suggest this, Mr. Hoffman. The last date that we can take action as this council is going to be the second meeting in November. Doesn't you have a date for that? I mean, what we probably should do is what day is that? I'm sorry? November 21, and last day of this council. And what we would do is maybe we would just have this pilot program up until that point, and we'll agendize it. The rule change, we'll agendize it on that date, and we decide whether we want to cut it off or not. And then that will be our pilot period. And then we can make a determination of whether we want to. If we don't act on it, if we don't change the rules, then of course it still stays in effect. But if we want to amend it and take it out, then of course this process would be dead as a council rule. That's another way.
I agree, Mr. Chair. I think that's a valid point. We could do that and say we're going to do it. If you feel that you want to see it as an amendment to the resolution, I'm pleased to go along with that. If we can do this without making the amendment, I'm pleased to take the vote right now.
Go ahead, Mr.
Well, we can set that sunset date, but then for the new council, I think we should
Any other discussion? There is no amendment. We're gonna approve the resolution as provided by Ms. Hoffman. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Clark? Aye. Ms. Ford? Aye. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye?
Mr. Ikeda?
Aye.
Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? Aye. Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Chair Yagong, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Resolution 279-12 draft 3 passes. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next item. Before I do, just a quick announcement to those that may be watching us at home. Councilman, we're eating at the, you might see us on TV eating. Please understand it's 8 o'clock at night. We've been here from 9 o'clock in the morning, so please don't mind if you see council members eating as we discuss issues here. Okay, Madam Clerk, resolution 280-12 draft 2.
Resolution 28012, draft 2, urges the Hawaii State Legislature to adequately fund both the Hawaii Campaign Spending Commission and a statewide comprehensive public funding system for elections. States that the state legislature take immediate action to adequately fund the Hawaii Campaign Spending Commission and the statewide comprehensive program upon convening the 2013 legislative session. Further states that the council recommends to extend the Hawaii County Council comprehensive public funding program through the election year 2020, and that it awards equal qualifying funds to all qualified participants in the various districts. This resolution was introduced by Ms. Smart and approved by the GRC Committee.
Ms. Smart?
Move to approve resolution 280-12, draft 2. Second.
Second by Ms. Ford. Any discussion?
Yes, please, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I think we've hashed this out fairly well. Basically, we are just communicating to the state that, as a reminder, this was introduced by request by voter on Hawaii, to extend the public funding of elections statewide. However, we've made some amendments based on council members' concerns to at least see if the County of Hawaii pilot project could be extended. There's been concerns about funding, and there's also a clause in there asking the state legislature to appropriate the amount of funds necessary for the campaign spending commission to appropriately administer this program. We did try and have Tony Baldemero available by phone since he did fly in last meeting, and because of testimony he had to leave before we could really get into some in-depth conversations with him. We tried to have him available by phone today. He was on standby from 11:30 this morning till about 4 o'clock this afternoon, so unfortunately we missed that window of opportunity. I see no reason, however, to stop this from moving forward. This is just communicating to the state our opinion on the pilot program and what we think of it, and that we think it is important to try and move it statewide should resources become available. I'm very honored to be the one to introduce this, and I hope the council continues supporting this and allow this to be a communication mechanism to the state on the program, since we were to some extent the guinea pigs of it. Thank you.
Yoshimoto.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a suggestion I thought he had said, page 2 where it says, whereas the Hawaii County Council Comprehensive Public Funding Program is set to expire in 2014. You might want to say 2014 election cycle, or it might be a simple one-word amendment that to do it, then we could suspend our rules and do all that stuff just to make it clear. And I could so move. Second.
Okay, that was seconded by Ms. Smart. Mr. Yoshimoto.
Yeah, so just that one word amendment, I think will make it clear, just so we're not telling them that it's done in 2014. It's after the 2014 election cycle.
Because it's not written, we have to suspend the rules. Is that okay? I need a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Yeah, because we're not having a written amendment. It's been moved and seconded, so Chair will recognize the motion. In discussion, the motion to suspend. Seeing none, Madam Clerk. Ms. Hoffman?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the clerk at all at any time during that vote. I certainly vote aye.
Mr. Hoffman?
He voted aye on the motion to suspend.
Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? Aye. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
I have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Motion to suspend passes. So, before I go to Ms. Ford, Mr. Yoshimoto, could you just tell us real quick again what that amendment was, just so we're clear?
The amendment is to add the word cycle after the 2014 on page. Oh yeah, sorry. after the 2014 election cycle. Sorry, I tried to keep it one word.
I got that. We get that for the record.
After
You got
the
that?
2014 election cycle.
Dennis is sharp, you got that.
After the,
Okay. So go ahead, Ms. Smart.
Thank you, Mr. Yoshimoto. You did bring that up last time, and I'm sorry, I completely forgot about it until now. Thank you for staying on that. I should have had the amendment prepared, and I just completely forgot that was stated last time. Hopefully, with that floor amendment, we will still see continued support, and I see this just as a clarification.
Ms. Ford?
Okay, not to steal any thunder from Mr. Yoshimoto, this is the I think alike. If you look at the minutes, you'll see that I brought this up last. But you know what? I'm so happy Jay is supporting it. It's wonderful. Okay, however, one of the things that, yes, in the general cycle, and I support it because I thought it was going to be taken care of the last time, so I'm very pleased to support this. Thank you.
Okay, on the amendment, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Ford? Aye. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? Aye. Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Yagong?
Aye.
Yagong, you have ayes.
Thank you, motion passes. We'll go to the main motion as amended, and the chair rules that it's not a substantive amendment, so this will pass if we vote for it tonight. Any further discussion? Mr. Ikeda, go ahead. Ms. Smart, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ms. Ford, go ahead.
Thank you. Just as a comment, because it was brought up again today by the public that was testifying, when I first initiated the legislation for the pilot program that is going through its second election cycle, one of the things that I did was say it should be the same amount for every person that's running in each district that is going to use public funding. And at that time, I said $10,000. The state legislature opted to do it slightly differently, and they use a formula. And that's why one district has next to nothing, and another district has seemingly oodles of money, based on whoever won the last general elections contributions. Anyway, I won't go into the formula. I want to let the public know that I have always felt that the amount of money should be the same in every single district, that anybody signing up for public funding and meeting those requirements, in this case we have to get $265, would get the same amount of money. Now I suggested $10,000. That's probably too low, and it doesn't matter. But the other thing that has to be addressed in another bill some other time is the division of that money between the primary and the general election. And I support that too. I just want the public to understand that I'm not advocating that one district get practically nothing and another district just be rolling in money. That's not fair. And I do believe in equity. And I supported that when I first wrote it. I don't know. I guess I wrote it my first term, 2006. Thank you.
Mr. Ikeda.
I have the same concern that Ms. Ford had, but what bothers me even more is I read in the paper that anything spending is below the threshold of $3.5 million. They're not even sure they're going to fund the next 2014 election because they're not receiving enough contribution. So unless our county is going to do a lot of lobbying, we might not even have it. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further lights, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Hoffman.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to lengthen the discussion, but I do challenge the idea, although I agree with 280-12, I do challenge the idea that all districts should receive the same amount of money. There's absolutely no basis, quite frankly, in reality, for that type of division. While I don't want to see one district get nothing and another get a whole lot of money, I do not believe that the same amount of expenses applies to my district or to Ms. Ford's district that would apply in a Hilo district under a completely different geographical setup. I don't see that the amount of money should be divided equally among all districts, and I would argue against that if this comes back as at the state legislature. It's a comment, but it does apply to my support, which is tenuous of 280 on that basis alone. Thank you.
Okay, last comment, go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Thank you. Mr. Hoffman, please be aware that we
have approximately the same number of people, residents, in each district. We may have more or less registered voters, but we have the same number of people. And so that's why I feel it should be even across the district. So you can reach out to the people in your district by whatever method you want to do. It's not based on geography or the size of the land mass. It's strictly based on the number of residents per district. Thank you.
Let's end the account, because this is not to really set forth the actual distribution of the funds. This is just to ask them to fund it. So I think we have enough discussion regarding that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss? Aye. Ms. Ford? Aye. Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Aye. Mr. Onishi?
No.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? Aye. Ms. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Mr. Yagong, you have 8 ayes.
Thank you. Resolution 280-12 passes. Madam Clerk, Resolution 299-12.
Resolution 29912 authorizes the Office of the Mayor to enter into an agreement with the State of Hawaii Department of Transportation pursuant to HRS 467 for the Hawaii County Police Department's Youth Alcohol Deterrence Program. Funds will be used for underage drinking enforcement operations to produce liquor violation and other arrests during enforcement projects, to use public service announcements to provide education, and to encourage underage individuals not to consume alcohol. The goal of this program is to reduce the amount of underage individuals operating a vehicle after consuming alcohol and illegally drinking alcohol in public areas and parks. This resolution is introduced by Ms. Ford by request and approved by the Finance Committee.
Ms. Ford?
Move to approve resolution 299-12.
Second by Mr. Bloss. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart?
Aye.
Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Chair Yagong, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Resolution 299-12 passes. Madam Clerk, 300-12, please.
Resolution 300-12 authorizes the payment of funds of a later fiscal year and of more than one fiscal year for a multi-year lease for 2 multi-function copiers for the Finance Department. Authorizes the Mayor to enter into a 5-year lease agreement for 2 multi-function copiers for the Finance Department. One copier will be located at the Real Property Tax Division office in Hilo, and the other copier will be located at their office in West Hawaii Civic Center. This resolution was introduced by Ms. Ford by request and approved by the Finance Committee.
Ms. Ford.
Move to approve resolution 300-12.
Second by Mr. Bloss. Discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss?
Aye.
Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart?
That was an aye.
Oh, Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Chair Yagong, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Clerk, page 4, 307-12.
Resolution 307-12 urges the United States Department of Transportation to review the application of Hawaiian Airlines for allocation of a nonstop route between Haneda, Japan, and Kona, Hawaii. State that there is an established demand for a nonstop service route between Haneda and Kona that would have positive economic impacts on Hawaii Island, creating an opportunity to restore lost service to Japan, and increasing the potential for corresponding positive impacts to the state of Hawaii and the U.S. economy. This resolution was introduced by Mr. Onishi, member of the GRC.
Mr. Onishi.
Move to approve resolution 307.
Second by Mr. Bloss. Discussion?
Yes, I just want to get my colleagues to support this, and this flight is lost. Japan Airlines flight, and now Hawaiian hoping to get that back.
Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss?
Aye.
Ms. Ford? Mr. Hoffman?
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda? Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Mr. Pilago?
Aye.
Ms. Smart? Mr. Yoshimoto?
Aye.
Chair Yagong?
Aye.
Chair Yagong, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Resolution 301-12 passes. I'm sorry, 307-12 passes. Madam Clerk, let's go to Bill and Ordinance. First reading, Bill 255, Draft 2.
Bill 255 Draft 2 amends ordinance number 08150 to amend ordinance number 465. With reclassified lands for agricultural 1 acre A1A to neighborhood commercial zone 500 square feet, CN 7.5 at Kealakekua, South Kona, Hawaii, covered by tax map P 8213 portion of 2. It's proposed to amend the following sections of ordinance number 8150, amend section 1 to include tax map P number conditions E and F related to visitor center and farmers market, system criteria, and condition M to include the ordinance number. This bill was introduced by Ms. Ford and approved by the Finance Committee.
Ms. Ford.
Move to approve bill 255 draft 2.
Second by Mr. Bloss. Any discussion? Ms. Ford.
Please support this. We need to get the farmers market back. We're losing money.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bloss? Ms. Ford?
I'm sorry, wait a minute. Excuse me. Can we hold the vote so strong? Okay. Can we stop the vote?
Check line in.
Thank you. Move to amend bill 255 draft 2, the contents of 706.4.
Okay, motion, this is communication what now? Sorry?
This is communication 706.4. It should be.
Okay, Mr. Blas.
Yes.
So we are now on the amendment, go ahead.
Thank you. If you look on page 2 of the transmittal, you will see the fair share monies have been amended. I neglected to amend that for planning at the last session, and so I'm correcting that error and amending the fair share as required.
Okay, any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas. Ms. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda. Mr. Onishi. Mr. Pilago. Ms. Mark. Mr. Yoshimoto. Chair Goff. 9 ayes.
Thank you,
Motion
Mr.
passes. So we can read motion as amended. Go ahead,
Yes.
Madam Clerk.
I'm going to move to, let's see, I'm going to suspend the rules.
Words first reading.
I-
You know, the first reading.
Yeah, sorry, I won't suspend the rules.
So one more reading to go.
That's okay,
Okay,
sorry.
any further discussion on the main motion as amended? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas. Ms. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda. Mr. Onishi. Mr. Pilago. Ms. Mark. Mr. Yoshimoto. Chair Goff.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 255, draft 2 passes first reading. Madam Clerk, Bill 294, please.
Bill 294 amends ordinance number 1287 as amended relating to public improvements and financing thereof for the fiscal year July 1, 2012 to June 30, 2013. At the Department of Public Works, Ocean View Business District Water Infrastructure Improvements, $5,700,000. Funds shall be provided from general obligation bonds, capital projects, fund balance, and or other sources grants. $5,700,000. Funds will be used for the Ocean View Business District Water Infrastructure Improvements, which will bring a buried 12-inch ductile pipe water line to the business district located along Highway 11. This bill was introduced by Ms. Smart and approved by the Finance Committee.
Ms. Mark.
Move to approve Bill 294. Second.
Second by Ms. Ford. Go ahead, Ms. Mark.
Move to amend Bill 294 with the contents of 827.1.
827.1, second by Mr. Onishi. Any discussion on the amendment? Ms. Ford, Ms. Mark.
Thank you. This was, when we did this CIP, we forgot to add in the fire hydrants. We got cost estimates, and this change is to reflect the cost of estimated fire hydrants.
Okay. Further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas.
Aye.
Ms. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda. Mr. Onishi.
Aye.
Mr. Pilago.
Aye.
Ms. Mark.
Aye.
Mr. Yoshimoto. Chair Goff. Chair Goff, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. We're at the main motion as amended. This is first reading, right? Okay, Ms. Mark, anything further?
I think I went over that this is one of the international guard programs, innovative readiness training. We need to get the project on the books. This is we came up with this cost with the much appreciated help of the Department of Water Supply. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas.
Aye.
Ms. Ford.
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Mr. Ikeda.
Aye.
Mr. Onishi.
Aye.
Mr. Pilago.
Aye.
Ms. Mark.
Aye.
Mr. Yoshimoto.
Aye.
Chair Goff.
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 294 passes first reading. Madam Clerk, Bill 296.
Bill 296 amends ordinance number 1287 as amended relating to public improvements and finance thereof for the fiscal year July 1, 2012 to June 30, 2013. As Department of Public Works, Green Sand Substation Water Infrastructure Improvements, $1,500,000. Funds shall be provided from general obligation bonds, capital projects, fund balance, and or other sources grants. $1,500,000. Funds will be used for the Green Sand Subdivision Water Infrastructure Improvements, which will bring a buried 6-inch ductile pipe water line to the subdivision boundary and relocate the water meters closer to the residential properties located along Ka'alu Road from Highway 11. This bill was introduced by Ms. Smart and approved by the Finance Committee.
Ms. Mark.
Move to approve Bill 296.
Second by Mr. Yoshimoto. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Move to amend Bill 296 with the contents of 828.1.
828.1, second by Mr. Onishi. Any discussion on the amendment? Go ahead.
Again, we forgot to include the cost of fire hydrants, so thanks again for the reminder. We'll include the reflection of estimated fire hydrants amending the amount to reflect that.
Motion on the amendment. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Blas.
Aye.